Hey guys, Joel here from Ski Uphill, and today as a first gear review we're talking about the TrailTalon 250 from Inov-8. Most people who've tried it here at the store have really liked the fit and the feel out of the box, so I thought I might as well get a pair for myself and go try it out in the trails, and that's what I did over the past week. I'm going to tell you about what I liked and what I disliked about the TrailTalon. So as you can see, it's a very minimal, very race-oriented shoe. A very simple upper, so lots of mesh, not very constructed, not a lot of protection. You're on a 4mm platform, so you're basically at 17.5mm thickness at the back and 13.5mm at the front. So it's a very flat, very close to the ground shoe. You do have a bit of a shank, so basically you have a couple bands running along the midsole, small plastic sort of stringers, and that gives a little bit of rigidity, but it's definitely quite minimal. Other feature, a triple compound outsole. So first one is that kind of durable compound here that's gray, and then you have a blue one here that's kind of intermediate, and then on the outside you have a nice and sticky soft compound. I've tried that shoe for a couple hour-long-ish runs. I liked a bunch of things about it. I definitely think it's not going to be a Quiver 01 type of shoe because it's very race-oriented, but definitely it has its place for faster pace, either interval sessions or shorter runs. So let's start first with talking about what I liked about that shoe. What I really liked first is the fit of the shoe. It's a very, very supple mesh that's used for the upper, so it really feels like it would adapt to a lot of different foot shapes, and you don't really have any pressure points in this shoe. It doesn't kind of, sometimes it does bend awkwardly and have a bit of a pressure point when you're pushing, when the shoe folds here at the front. That one really doesn't have that. So it's a nice, really nice fit, quite a bit of room at the toe box here, but a little bit slimmer at the back. Nice heel cup, not too padded, but it kind of wraps around the heel really nicely. So fit-wise, I was really, really happy about how that shoe was right out of the box. One other thing I really liked on a shorter distance run is the amount of sensitivity you have. It's really flat, it's really close to the ground, so obviously you're going to feel a lot how you're placing your foot, how uneven terrain is. It's a shoe that feels really stable, especially because it's so close to the ground, right? And you're feeling exactly how you're pushing off your foot and how soft the trail is. So that's really fun because you definitely get a lot of feeling from what you're doing and from your running. It has some drawbacks, I'm going to talk about that later, but the sensitivity and how fast the shoe felt was really fun. Another thing that worked really well is the sole. The sole was really, really grippy. What I didn't like as much about the shoe, the first thing is protection. I was expecting worse. It was not so bad. A little bit of protection when you're on round rocks or roots, and that was, you could feel it, but it was not uncomfortable. But definitely as soon as you hit like something sharp, you really do feel like every single millimeter of that rock. I would have liked to have a bit more of like a rigidity in the front just for protection, as a rock shield, but then you definitely lose some sensitivity. The other thing I wasn't too sure about is the fact that, as you can see here, the mesh starts right above the midsole. There's nothing to add a little bit of durability in those kind of high wear areas. I would be concerned about probably tearing that shoe pretty fast, especially if like you're to go in any sort of scree or more scrambly terrain. I would definitely keep that more for milder or kind of more rolling and fast trails. If you add a rock shield yourself, which basically is a piece of a cutting board, $6 for a cutting board. I just did try to place that underneath the insole in the shoe. If you're in a really flowy and fast trail, well, you can just take it off, right? On the durability side of things, leak seal, which is flexible rubber sealant. And I just sprayed like the whole side of the mesh where it meets the midsole. So both outside and inside. It's definitely gonna add a lot more durability in those high wear areas. I think that's a shoe that's very good for someone who's looking for a low to the ground shoe for short distance racing. Definitely not the shoe you want to look at if you're racing ultras, or if you want a shoe for when your feet are sore, or for a long distance shoe. That's the 250. We're gonna have the 275, which is 8 millimeters drop and about a lot more thickness at the sole, who will be a lot more adapted to those kind of long distance outings. But that's definitely a super fun race-oriented shoe. Just think like a race flat for a 10K basically, with a grippy sole for nice and dry trails.